The romantic life of a sap man. Just sitting here all day, watching it boil. This week on the Weekend Homestead, we're going to introduce you to our friend Sweetie here, 55-gallon drum that we turned into an evaporator. What an evaporator does is it helps boil off sap and make maple syrup. We'll go out and collect the stuff and boil some down and show you how it's made. And that's what you get in about a week. So it's been a good week on the homestead. Just take the one that has less in it. Pour it into one that has more. So on the homestead here, we don't use fire starters. We actually harvest birch bark off the property. It's actually really simple. Just take a knife, do a little cutting here. This was under the snow last week, but it's bone dry. This should be enough to get our fire started today. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Sweetie started. We're gonna use our birch bark and some pine. Basically, I just kind of lay the birch bark down in the bottom here, and then, hey Cameron, do you wanna hand me some of that? We start putting this stuff in, hand me more. Pick up from.
No, go up.
Here, manually just light it. Alright, so let me just come down here. Manually just light it. Should just be able to light it.
Daddy?
We just put these pans up on the top here. Alright, so if you look inside here, inside the bucket, you can see the cover keeps a lot of the junk out, but unfortunately got a little bit of stuff in there. So I have a basic towel here, and we're going to use this bucket down here. We're going to drain this through there to strain it for the first time. Alright, so we just pour this in. Just a little bit. And what this is doing is taking out kind of the bugs and the big parts and the bark and everything else. All right, here we are. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna boil this off, and then eventually we'll put it in the kettle over there. That kettle we'll take home, and then we'll show you how to finish it at a later time. We're gonna go put these back out for next weekend. Going to top this off here, and it's going really well. This boiler works really good for this, and we've done it every year and it never fails. Got about another 5 gallons to go, and then this will get all boiled down, filtered once, put in there, and we'll move on to the next phase. If you want to see the other parts of the series, click on the eye in the sky and it'll link you to the 2 other parts. The one where we collected the sap and also where we finished it in the kitchen.
At the homestead, And we boiled maple syrup down. So we did some of the maple sap. I did a few laps around the house. We took a gator to pick up the maple syrup bucket. Then we boil it down with a sweetie. And that's with the big drum. And we turned it into a sap.
Evaporator.
Evaporator. We are going to finish the rest up at home.
So this is the last of the sap that we have. We're going to dump in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up to about 212 degrees total and let it boil down. We're not going to let it get any higher than that though, because the reason why is if it gets higher than that, we'll get really close to syrup, and we want to do the syrup actually on the stove. So we're going to try to get as close to 212 as possible without going over. Once we get there, we'll load it into the bucket down there. It's much easier to finish it on a propane stove. You do not want to do this boiling inside your kitchen though, because if you did this, all this humidity that's been coming off will make all the walls in your house sticky. As this is boiling off, as this gets closer and closer to sugar, it'll raise up and keep going. Our ultimate goal is to hit 219. I keep stirring it, cooling it down, and slowing it down as we're getting down to the final boil. The other thing you can notice is, see the bubbles are getting smaller and smaller on the boil. What that's telling me is that we're getting a higher and higher sugar content. You can see too, we started out earlier today with clear, and now we're getting to this golden color. So what we're gonna do is, this one here is getting pretty low. This one's rolling pretty good. So I'm gonna pour this one into here and take this pan off so it starts to cool. And then we're gonna bring this down. Always have heavy duty gloves when you do this part, because this stuff is hot. Now we'll let that one boil down. As you can see, we went from completely clear to a golden boil. It's looking good now. We got about a ladle's depth in the pan, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it from the heat here. I'm going to put it on the pallet and let it cool down just a little bit. Then we're going to pour it into the bucket and we'll be on our way. We basically took about 35 gallons of sap and boiled it down to this little pan here. Now this pan will get finished at a later time. All right, so here we go. And just pull this from here. It is very hot. We're gonna let it sit right here for about 10 minutes or so, let it cool down a little bit, transfer it to the pot, and we'll be done for the day. If you like what we're doing here, make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe for future episodes. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
How about a thumbs up? This has been the Weekend Homestead, living the simple life, one weekend at a time. Thanks for watching.